Richie Torres, MMA, says, Jaffe, if God exists and is the standard of what's moral, don't you think you'll be accountable to him? Who gives a shit is my answer. First off, I don't think he's the standard of what's moral if he exists at all. And if he is, it's kind of like Colin said, his morality would suggest that I need to believe in something I don't, or try to believe in something that my brain in 52 years has not believed in, or I will be in purgatory or worse. Fuck that guy. What a piece of shit. I mean, I'm not being a dick. I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm saying I don't want to go to heaven and be with that guy. I don't want to sit at the, I mean, think about it. It's kind of like dying and having to serve Darth Vader the rest of your fucking life. Who the fuck wants that? No, he can go fuck himself. If that's who he is, take a hike, bitch. Rich Torres, MMA, thank you, buddy. He says, David, your brain wasn't designed to feel in awe. The very fact that you feel that way points to God. There's no logic in what you've just written, Richie Torres. The fact that I can feel awe and you're saying that that points to God, why? It could also just point to the fact that evolution has allowed my brain to create or to become this thing that in order to motivate me to do enough things that will make me interesting enough to have somebody want to fuck me and have a baby, that I get the dopamine hits. That's why I feel awe. That's why I feel anything. I'm not saying I'm right, you're wrong. I'm saying that just because things exist is not a way to point to God, but I still love you, Richie Torres, with all my heart and soul. Colin won't go to hell, Richie Torres says, because he didn't repent of his sins. Okay.
Oh, I've never sinned.
So. Yeah. I mean, think about that for a minute. The idea that it's just like, what are you talking about? I mean, think about how dumb this is when you really think about it. I mean, I'm not picking on Christianity. I'll pick on the Red Sea's stupid. But think about that for a minute. It's like, okay, so God makes people, makes them bad. Well, just don't make them bad. And then he makes people, makes them bad. It's like, here's my son that I'll torture on earth, so you won't be bad if you believe in this. I mean, it's so fucking crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree that I just don't. The Old Testament's very fire and brimstone, and it translates, in my opinion. I'm not a biblical scholar, but I, like many other people, have read it deeply. You know, it's like it doesn't contrast very well with the New Testament, which is more. Jesus had, like, people pretend like Jesus was like a socialist and he loved everyone. It's like, not really. I mean, Jesus like kind of went off on a lot of people and also like was making examples of a lot of people. But to me, I'm like, it would be, it's what I was saying. The ideal Christianity would be one in which God made himself known, like objectively known, right?
Yeah.
The second best thing you could have done was to make it such that it was like a very not passive, but like love is love kind of God, where it was like, yeah, man, everything's good. It would attract like that would be all passive. You would attract pacifists and like people that are truly passive or whatever. And it would probably had a different arc because, you know, there's a lot of righteousness and violence in the Bible too. And I don't know, the idea that there's like, I think I caught you on the tail end of what you were saying with someone else, but it reminded me, and I don't know if you were saying the same thing, which just is like, I would just rather not, and I think this is what you were saying, which is I'd rather just not believe and maybe deal with the consequences, even if they're eternal, in order to not be beholden like a slave to some weird ideology that I don't fully buy into, in such that slavery, like that indoctrination, is necessary to get to the next level, even though I did in objective reality X, Y, and Z that were better than, you know, we keep using Ted Bundy or whatever. It doesn't wash with me either. It is a major problem.
And it makes total sense that a lot of people would go, this is man-made in order to get control over the masses, because it pretty much feels like sacrifice all you love and care about just to get to the next level. And it's like, it doesn't feel good. Yeah, but look, you get a lot more money. It's crazy.
Like the New Testament is kind of like history. I mean, a lot of it did happen. It just didn't maybe happen the way, and there's a lot of conflict, especially in the Gospels and all that. And I just don't think it's like that far, but like there's a lot of it that's not far-fetched. So why did it have to be so crazy in so many different ways? You know, it's kind of a bummer. Like when you compare it to like its pagan contemporaries and all that, it's much more grounded and like almost hippie-ish, you know. But
there is a lot of stuff that I think people, you know, it's the big effect scenes, right? It's the flood, and it's the parting of the Red Sea, and it's I think that's where you kind of lose a lot of people who, you know, aren't five. But anyway, but I hear you. Okay. Quinn Bart, thank you for the super chat. He says the reason Christians get attacked more than other religions is because they show up at your door at 9 a.m. on Sunday trying to convert you. Never had a Muslim trying to scare me into religion. I mean, there is a big part, right, of that. But not, I don't think all religions do that. I know the Mormons do that, but and I know Christians do go all over the world on trying to convert, but I don't think they go to your door in America, do they? I've never had anybody except Mormons.
Yeah, they do. I mean, there are like the Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, the Mormons will go on missions, but that's about it. I mean, it's better than what ISIS does, which is go around and just kill everyone.
Yeah, no, of course, yes, Colin, that's better. But thank you, Quinn. Tyler, thank you, buddy. Without faith, it's impossible to please God, says Hebrews 11:6. It's hard to see when you refuse to open your eyes. No, it's not, Tysher. That's just horseshit. You can't quote the Bible as a source of truth to begin with, because at least someone like me.
Do you believe that there's any historical truth in it? There's definitely historical truth in it.
Oh, of course. I mean,
so there is some level.
I always attribute the wrong person. I got this Bible from one of our members saying, Jaffe, this is the one to get because I love history, and it goes through and talks about
Sick.
All the historical aspects that are actually it's wonderful. But
I love footnoted Bibles so much. Like,
yeah.
so
when I look at this, there's like a D&D campaign in here too. I think. Look at that. But I'm just like, sure, there's, you ground the horse shit in reality so the horse shit goes down easier. I know how it works. I play the game, Colin. Come on now.
Sure.
And it's not, by the way, let's be clear. My eyes are not closed, right? I read some of this. It's too fucking long. I've read this. Can science prove the existence of God? I'm always searching because I find it fascinating and curious. I want to do different drugs I haven't gotten to do yet.
Me too, man. That's a big part of it for me. Doing some of that stuff.
I don't know if I'm spiritual, but I'm when I say I'm agnostic, Tysher, I'm agnostic. I don't know.
You and I should go to the rainforest with no return ticket and just see what happens.
That until no return ticket was good.
And just see what happens. We're just going to see what happens.
Here's the deal. You guys say you're doing a Last Stand media in San Diego soon, right?
We are. Yeah, we're nailing it down.
We'll get a shaman before or after. We'll do some DMT. Or ayahuasca. I've never done it. I'd like to.
There's a lot of things I'd like to do.
Okay, well, would you do it with me?
Yeah, I think you're like the kind of person I would trust to be with. Actually, like the kind of person because I think you need to be with someone.
Oh yeah, you have to. You have to be. Yeah,
that'll be fun.
All right, good.
And Micah could probably watch this because she probably wouldn't want to do it, so she could probably babysit if she wanted to.
Oh, and she has to live stream it. Do you know how much money we'd make? Answering questions. Okay. Richie says, David, your presupposition is you are decent. Your presupposition that grammar is false. David, your presupposition is that you're decent. That's false. We're all children of wrath. I don't know what you're talking about, Richie Torres. I appreciate the money. I really do. It's very kind and generous of you. And more importantly, we don't have to agree on things to be pals, but I will say, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Emmanuel AI says, Jaffe, can we please get P Turtle back? No, but thank you for the super chat. Richie's back. He says, would love to know where David gets his moral thoughts from being a descendant of social bacteria. I don't know. And I don't care. I don't know where I get the ability for my legs to bend where they bend. But it doesn't mean that's proof of a God. Let's put it this way, pal. I look at religion. I look at religion and I still consider myself a very moral person. Now, where did that come from? Now, did it come from God? Maybe, but you know what also came from God, if he's alive, if he's a real thing, is the inability to give me the faith that he gave you. So fuck you and fuck God. Because if he's going to give it to you and you get into heaven, but he didn't give it to me, why would I want to hang out with him anyway? I mean, it's ridiculous.